Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber,
poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Not applicable to PayPal Here transactions. Other fees may apply. Shop safe with PayPal. Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber,
poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Not applicable to PayPal Here transactions. Other fees may apply. Shop safe with PayPal.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Beer Nuts, a weekly excursion into the world of craft beer. Brought to you by MichiganBeerGuide.com. And now, here are the Beer Nuts.
Okay, welcome to Beer Nuts. Tonight's episode is Superb Al 53. Why is it Superb Al? Because the NFL does not allow us to use another name, and because we're Superb Owls here. So we've got a great show tonight. We got beers from both of the Superb Al cities, Al's in LA and in New England. So let's introduce everybody. And as we have been doing recently, since we ran out of beer quotes. If you have Untapped, just introduce yourself, say where you're Skyping in from, and your last Untapped check-in. So I'm pulling mine up right now. So JR, I'm here on Grosse Ile, Michigan, on the Canadian border. And the last beer I checked in on Untapped is Witchcraft from Brenner Brewing Company. It's a Russian Imperial Stout. Let's go around the horn to Doug. You with us, Doug?
Hey.
There he is.
This is Doug out from Clawson, Michigan, a little bit further north from JR, probably just as cold. And my last Untapped check-in was from Rochester Mills, their Imperial Blueberry Pancake Milk Stout. I think I got that right.
All right, how about Greg?
All right, this is Greg in Dearborn, Michigan. My last Untapped check-in was from Shorts Brewing Company called Not Unofficial. They're double dry hopped IPA with mango and guava.
Sounds tasty. And how about David? Welcome back, David. It's been a while since we had you
How's
on.
it going? This is Dave Highlife Miller, and my last check-in was actually at where I used to work at North Center. The Double Date was a double with dates in it. Pretty good.
Nice.
All right, and we're happy to introduce you to special guests tonight, live from Los Angeles. Well, I guess it'll be taped from Los Angeles when this episode airs. But welcome, Steve V.
Welcome. Thank you, everybody, for having me today.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. And Steve's in Los Angeles and a huge Rams fan and a huge craft beer fan, so he'll fit right in with us. Do you use Untapped, Steve?
No, I'm not. No, don't use Untapped. Okay. But the last beer I did have was courtesy of Chris, our mutual friend, and he had a special project from Unibrow, and it was a La Fin de Monde that was aged for 18 months in tequila barrels. Pretty tasty.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I'm going to have to get Chris to hook me up with one of those. All right, well, we got a lot of beers to cover and a little bit of football talk to come. So we just want to, as we always do, invite all our listeners. Hopefully you are able to enjoy a cold beer as you listen to the show here. We're not pretentious. We're not a bunch of beer snobs. There's room for everybody. So if you're a Coors Light drinker or if you're a La Fin de Monde tequila barrel-aged drinker, there's still room for you at our table always. So we welcome everybody. We just want to introduce more good people to more good beer. So in light of that, we're going to start off, since we've got Steve for the duration of the show, we are hoping to have a New England representative who sent us some great New England beers on at the end of the show. He'll be hopefully joining us at the tail end. So we're going to start out with each beer nut is going to review an LA beer. I was fortunate enough to have a good friend and trader. Shout out to my friend Martin in Ventura, California, who sent me on short notice a box of local LA area beers. So I've spread those around with Greg and Doug in the last few days. So we're going to turn it over to Doug, and he's going to introduce you to his LA beer. So take it away, Doug.
All right. The beer I have is from Three Weavers Brewery out of Inglewood, California. The beer is called The Messenger. And a little bit on the side of the can says it's a Sunny India Pale Ale. The Messenger is an ode to Southern California citrus. We combine locally grown yuzu and Buddha's hand citron with a healthy hopping of Citra, Eldorado, and Sabro. Those are the hops to create a beer that is bright, sunny, and sure to deliver. Looks like it's coming in at about 7.3%. It pours a beautiful, almost clear gold, very pale. Beautiful head on this beer. Plenty of carbonation. The lacing on it is completely even all the way around the glass, so no trails. So I'm going to assume this is pretty dry beer here. On the nose, I get some sort of, I do get some citrus fruit, and but I'm really getting the fruit off of the hops, and I'm going to assume that is the sort of the Citra and Eldorado and Sabra combination. It gives off some really good heavy mango notes, nice fresh tropical fruit. Right up front, it's bitter. It's what I expect from the West Coast. It's bitter on two levels. I get bitterness from the hops, but I also get the bitterness from the fruit. If anybody's familiar with yuzu fruit, it's kind of a weird looking thing. In our neck of the woods, we can find these fruits at Meyer. The same with Buddha's hand. Buddha's hand is just this weird-looking lemon thing that's got all these like snarly fingers coming off it. It's yellow. I've actually bought these things before and used them as an air freshener because it's all very little fruit and all pretty much peel or rind, and it just gives off a beautiful lemon essence. But does this exact same thing with this beer. I think this beer is fantastic. It's just a really great combination of grapefruit type hops and some like really, sort of bitter citrus without the pucker. And whatever they're doing here is phenomenal. I love this. I could drink this all summer long. I could drink it right now. I'm just loving this beer. It's fantastic.
Well, let's see if Steve is this a beer you've tried, or are you familiar with the brewery? Any light you can shine on it?
Yes, I've had that beer, and I think I mentioned to you before that that when that first came out, they weren't that good. Their brewer wasn't good, but they got a female brewer that came a couple years back, and she really turned around their stuff, and now they really put out some really tasty beers.
Well, that's a great story. I'm glad to hear that. And again, thank you, Martin from Ventura, for hooking us up with these. So,
yeah,
all right, well,
absolutely. Great. Yeah, thanks so much. This is really kind of a joy to drink, and I'd love to have another beer that's like this. For buying some of those Buddha's hands and thinking, boy, what can I do with a beer with that? And to actually have it where somebody's done it in a good way is like, wow, nice. Thanks.
Always giving you a new idea for perhaps a future homebrew, Doug.
Oh, that's always in the works. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the review. Let's move on to Greg. What do you have from LA, Greg?
Well, from LA, specifically Hawthorne, California, we have from Los Angeles Ale Works. This is their Bloom Berliner Weiss. Looking up a little bit of information on Los Angeles Ale Works, it seems they are just in the neighborhood of SpaceX and Tesla. So on the can here, it does say "Born in the Cradle of Aerospace," so that now makes sense to me. 16-ounce can here, 4.5% ABV. Can's wrapped in a baby blue, powdery blue wrapping here, and pretty cool little label here. So, like I said, it's a 4.5% Berliner Weiss. A little description on the can here. It says, tart and refreshing Bloom is our take on the classic light sour beer from Germany that we ferment in used white wine barrels. It is the perfect beer to drink on a hot summer day. And here in Michigan, it's -10, so why the heck not, right? So here we go. On the smell here, I get a lot of tart citrus, a lot of lemon, more, predominantly than anything. Poured a really hazy golden color. Get some small bubbles here coming up on the side of the glass. Very effervescent looking. So let's take a sip here. More of that. Wow, really tart. Very lemony. That white wine barrel is adding on to that dryness. It's creating a nice dryness on the back end here of the taste, and it's a very refreshing beer. It does say on the can. Well, yeah, like I said, on the can it said a hot summer day, so I can see this working perfectly in LA all the time. Or if we were to get more of these up here in Michigan come July or August, these would be a fantastic beer. But even right now, it's very delicious. It's very drinkable. Obviously, 4.5%, very crushable. Steve, I don't know if you made it out there and you've tried this as well, or any other variants of this. I've seen they had like a blueberry version of this as well, so I know that would be fantastic. So.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Bloom Barrel. However, we do have a lot of, especially one brewery out here called Dry River Brewing, and they specialize in that tart, and they do very well. People love their stuff. It's just not my cup of tea.
And it seems like they're only a couple years old, I think, or at least their tap room was only open for the last few years now. So I don't know how much further back they date, but. They're doing a pretty good job, at least from what I'm tasting on this one. So it'd be nice to try some more.
Well, perhaps you can try it in warmer weather. It might be better. But, then again, maybe it's warming you up just thinking that, wow, this is a great warm weather beer.
It's like a ray of sunshine
I'm
beaming
thinking
out of
warm
the can,
thoughts, yes.
warming you up. Yeah.
Amen. Well, I got the wood stove going here on the island. So, all right, well, I'm going to move on to my beer because I'm really thirsty, and I couldn't wait. I poured it moments ago. The beer I have is called Amalgamator IPA from Beechwood Brewing, and I selected this because it's from Huntington Beach, California, where Steve and I's mutual friend Chris resides. So I thought, why not? I'll give this a try. And the other thing that attracted me to it is it says on the can it's a dynamic West Coast style IPA, and we've had so many, juicy, hazy New England IPAs, and we've had some great ones, and they're delicious. But, lately, whenever I get a nice, good, a good old West Coast IPA that we used to enjoy so often before the New England or Northeast IPAs came out, it's almost like rediscovering an old friend, and this is no exception. So I poured the beer. It's got a nice, solid one finger, nice, snow white head, and the head lingers, well carbonated, but it's clear as can be. So you right away know this is not a New England IPA, and a lot of brewers take great care to make a nice, clear, solid, clear, clean beer, and this fits the bill. So I'm going to take it. I'm getting tropical fruit notes on the nose. That little dank smell. I'm going to take a sip now. And I definitely am getting some fruits, some tropical fruits, some mangoes, pineapples, passion fruit. Really, really delicious. It's taken me back to the old, the true West Coast style that used to really thoroughly enjoy. And not to say I don't, because I do thoroughly enjoy. We just don't get them as often anymore because the craze has been the New Englands. But this is a great, solid representation of a West Coast IPA. I'm getting a little bit of dankness, nice It's at 70 IBUs, so it's not over the top, but it's got just the right amount balance. So I'm going to read from the can. Amalgamator is a dynamic West Coast style India Pale Ale that's delightfully light in body and bursting with unique aromas and flavors. A massive dry hop charge of Mosaic hops lays down an aromatic amalgam of passion fruit, blueberry, dank resin, and citrus notes. Malt, American two-row and honey malt. Hops, Mosaic, Warrior, Columbus, and Amarillo. So no secret here. I love Mosaic, and I really like Amarillo, so it's a good combination. The Amarillo is giving you that little orange mango flavor. And I think the Mosaic gives you a little bit more depth in, the passion fruit. It mentions blueberry. I don't know if I'm getting that, but the dank resin, you get that nice mouthfeel, little sticky resinous mouthfeel, and a real nice, clean West Coast IPA. Really enjoying this one. So great to know that next time I visit my buddy Chris, this brewery's right there in Huntington Beach, and I'll make it a point to stop by and see these guys. So I'll turn it over to you, to Steve. Any comments you have on this brewery or this beer?
No, I had never seen that one. That was when you showed me the picture of that one. And they're getting a couple of pretty good breweries out in Huntington Beach. That are Four Sons is another one that's really good, and they have some good stuff.
Well, apparently they have two locations. Beechwood, one's in Huntington Beach. Let's see, the other one is. I'm on their website.
Oh, yeah, Beechwood. That's the one that's in Long Beach and in Huntington Beach. I'm sorry.
Long Beach, yeah.
Beechwood,
okay.
I'm sorry. Beechwood, yes. They have a lot of good stuff. Beechwood, they and to be honest, their food's really good there, too. They do well in the food part of their pairings. And but yeah, their line's pretty good.
Well, I'm really enjoying this one. So it's good to go back to the West Coast, man. And speaking of that, I'll be relocating to Arizona pretty soon here in the next few weeks. So more on that later, but let's keep everything moving.
Rub it in, John.
Well, that's all right. Michigan's getting me one last blast before I leave.
That's true. Last.
No ice and cold, so it's sending me off the proper way.
Yeah, you deserve it.
It's giving you a don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Got that right. All right, well, Steve, now we're going to just turn it over to you. You review a beer, talk a little bit about, craft beer scene out in L.A., some of your favorite breweries, beers, and then let's hear a little bit about your Rams. Go into the bowl. So it's all yours.
All right, thanks. The beer scene out here in LA has been doing very well, especially in the downtown area. There's so many breweries and all the art district and the downtown area that are opening up, and they all have really good stuff. And you can just go outside your door and throw a rock, and you're going to hit a really good brewery. Like I said, it was just kind of one of those things. The Rams coming back to LA a couple years ago, and getting Sean McVay last season, and he turned the team around, and to come back this year, and even at the beginning of the season, they were predicting the Rams were going to go to the Super Bowl, and it's one of those rare things where everyone actually predicted it, and they actually did make it. So, kind of like they tested times throughout the season and made it. So I'm hoping they can finish the season and bring a championship back to LA. But so the first beer that I got is also from the Los Angeles Ale Works, and it was just a temporary thing that they put out, a beer that they put out, and it's called Camouflage. And basically what they did is it's a West Coast IPA, and they got together with a bunch of breweries that were veteran owned, and they combined all these different hops and stuff to make it. Has a Cashmere, Sentinel, Euconaut, Mosaic, Simcoe, and then they used all the proceeds to go to the Semper Fi Fund. But you guys are drinking, and I couldn't wait, so I opened up my beer. Was been drinking while you guys were drinking. So, but it's really good. It's really smooth. Description on it: that's a Melanie floral hops rounded out with a biscuit maltiness, and as soon as I tasted that, you can see it. It doesn't end with that West Coast IPA, that traditional kind of piney taste. It does kind of like gets a little subtle at the end of it. So that was pretty. It's a little different, real nice, really good, nice drinking beer. It's a 7.5 ABV, so it's not middle of the road as far as West Coast IPAs, but it's really good, really nice, tasty.
Wow, that's a great cause. You can always feel good about drinking a beer when it goes towards a good cause. I know that we recently did a episode where we talked about resilience at Sierra Nevada. We did a Sierra Nevada episode, and Uncle Pete has brewed 2 batches of resilience and actually sent a donation in. So really happy to hear about the camouflage.
Yeah, and like I said, it's really good beer. I mean, you usually get a lot of people putting, these chefs putting their hands in the pot, and you never know what you're going to get out. But this one worked really well, and the taste of it's really good. It starts off, like I said, with a, kind of like a grapefruit taste to it, but then it really blends off towards the end of it, and doesn't finish off like a traditional, IPA. It gets really settled at the end.
Sounds great. So we'll go back to talk a little bit about your Rams. I just wanted to ask you, with the Rams just coming back to LA a few years ago, were you always a Rams fan, or did you drop them when they went to St. Louis? I mean, that must have been a roller coaster. Or were you just a loyal Rams fan all along?
No, when I'm a LA fan, so of course, when they were here and they played in Coliseum and all those years, I was a fan. And when they moved to Anaheim, I was kind of like, they're still not they're in the LA area, but that's Orange County, but I still followed them. And then when they went to St. Louis, it's like, no, that's not my team. So I didn't have a team until they came back, and so it was nice that they came back, because, like I said, they were my original team that I used to cheer for.
So does anybody in LA actually root for the Chargers?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, because I don't. All of a sudden, we had no teams for a long time, and then now we got 2 teams, and they're gonna start playing in the same place, and so it's kind of like it's kind of like in basketball, the Lakers and Clippers, they're sharing the same arena, and so it's kind of like, not that it's divided, but more so it's more people are Rams fan, but the Chargers had a great season this season. So
probably going to be similar to like Giants and Jets.
I can tell. Well, but I can tell from the crowd size, there's always a lot more people at Rams games than there are at Chargers games, and the fans that do go to the Chargers games are usually visitors.
Yeah,
just seems like the Rams are like probably the bigger draw there. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the other thing I'd like to add is, I know a lot of people in San Diego are like, the Chargers are dead to me because they left San Diego. So can you shine any light on, has that changed, or is that pretty much how it is?
No, that's kind of, because, I mean, they're not going to come up here to LA to stay with them, and they feel betrayed by San Diego. So they're not. It's like, okay, bye.
San Diego fans, the Chargers are dead to them.
Yeah.
I understand. All right. Well, hey, everybody knows I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I hope that you get to experience the joy I had at the parade last year, and good luck. Not to slight Craig, our guest from New England, but it would be really hard for me to root for the Patriots to win yet another Lombardi, when I think it would be cool if the Rams won. So I'm just going to be transparent and say I'll be rooting for you, Steve.
Plus, you really got to be cheering for the Rams, seeing how we beat Dallas to get there, and then we beat New Orleans, who beat Philadelphia. So you got to like.
Well, that's true, but remember, we got
and if you're an NFC fan, your team's in the NFC, then you got to be rooting for the NFC team.
Yes,
absolutely.
You're not rooting for an AFC team. No.
Well, full disclosure here, my son has adopted all my Philly teams, which makes me really proud. But today he begged me to get him. There was a T-shirt in the local grocery store, Super Bowl shirt with Todd Gurley number 30 on it, and I caved in and bought it for him. It's got the Super Bowl logo, so we'll be rooting. We'll be with you, Steve. We'll be rooting for the Rams.
You're a good father.
It's
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel credit, stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel credit, stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel credit, stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
Let's keep moving along here. We haven't heard from David yet, and I think it's time to start going back to the East Coast and let's start talking. Because, I know we just all said that we don't really want the Patriots to win the game, but you can't argue with the success they've had. I mean, 3 Super Bowls in a row they're in, and, they're if they win this year, they'll have 6 rings. So, yeah. I'm just glad my Eagles beat them last year, but nobody will argue that they produce some excellent beers in that part of the country. Dugout can attest from his trip to Maine this summer. But let's go to David. And Dave, you have like a pretty common beer, but I'm glad that you brought this beer because it's a really good gateway beer that a lot of people have used, that have enjoyed, and it brings people maybe that aren't into the craft scene yet. It's a great gateway beer to try. So why don't you tell us about your beer from the Boston area? Are you with us, Dave?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
There he is.
Okay. So, tell us about your the beer you're going to review, and it's all yours.
All right. Come on. Yeah, I'm not too exciting today. I got the Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. It's I'm sure probably most of us, if not all of us, have had it before. It's just a simple wheat beer that's got a little cherry flavor. If I remember correctly from having it before, the cherry flavor is not too intense, but I'm going to pour it right now and see if I remember correctly. It's pouring nice crystal clear with a nice creamy white foam head, and that definitely has like the nice cherry smell to it. And I remember the hardest thing with cherry beers is that you don't want it to end up tasting like Vicks 47 cough syrup, because I've had that in beer before, and that's just sometimes with the alcohol and the cherry, that's what you get. And Sam Adams does a really consistent job without getting that taste to it. So not too much more I could say about it besides before I go here and taste it. Yeah, just how I remember it. It's just a really clean wheat beer. It's because it's nice and easy to drink because it's it's wheat, so it's nice and light. But it's got that cherry in behind it, and it's unmistakable. Like you could pick this out from any, like if you had a blind taste test, you'd be able to pick this beer out as the cherry beer, no problem. And it's really good. I don't know if it's something I would sit there and drink, a bunch of in one night, but it's always good to go back to every now and then. I'm happy I had one sitting around so I could participate tonight. And I don't know, like I've had it at other places too, and it's definitely better on draft. Plug to another podcast, but yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Have you guys had it before? Do you remember anything about it?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I think it's a great beer to take a 6-pack of this to a Super Bowl party, and there might be people there that are Coors Light or just novice craft drinkers that maybe are a little bit interested in craft. It's a great gateway beer. Anybody can drink this, and it's easy to drink. It's enjoyable. I have a great quick story about it. When my sons were playing ice hockey, the local rink had a little bar on the upstairs, and of course, craft beer options were limited, but they always had this on tap. So it was kind of a little fallback, and it's 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 an old standby, and it's an approachable beer that you can introduce anybody to this beer. And a Bud Light drinker can try this and say, "Wow, I can be a craft person, and this is pretty good." So,
and I love what Sam Adams has done. They've just been such a staple for so long in the craft beer industry, and I know that they kind of lobbied their way to keep the under 600 barrels a year or whatever it was to make them officially a craft or independent brewery or whatever. So I'm happy they're there. I'm happy they exist, and they've always been good beer, and there's something good coming out of it.
Absolutely. Jim Cook has done a lot for the craft beer industry in general, and some of his beers like this are there's some are more sophisticated than others, but they got that consistent quality, and craft beer owes them a lot, and we're glad they're here, and we're glad you brought this to us, David. Thanks for that. And so let's move to our next New England beer with a Dugout.
Okay. I got two. I didn't. Hang on.
While Doug is deciding, let me just say on Cherry Wheat again. This is a beer that I can guarantee I can count on every time I go up to visit my folks in the Traverse City area. Is going to be in my dad's fridge. It's one that and Rochester Mills Milkshake Stout is the two beers that he only buys. It's like, geez, Dad, there's a lot more variety. You can buy more. I mean, it's still good, but living in a small mecca of beer, in Traverse City, you think you venture out, but guaranteed, that's the one I always can count on is in his fridge, and I do enjoy it while I'm up there. So,
well, interesting thing about the cherry beers too. I mean, going up to Traverse City, and that's cherry country there. You've got sweet cherries, you've got tart cherries. There's a lot of cherry beers coming out of that area. I think as far as the Sam Adams beer is concerned, those cherries are just a touch tart. It's not sweet cherry, which, that's, and then again, using the fruit and getting the cough medicine stuff. So but hey, a lot of fruit beers come a long way. That one's just a staple since the 90s from what I remember, and it's really a good solid beer to have in the fridge at any time.
Agreed.
All right, so we are moving to the East Coast here. My brewery is let's get this straight here. It's Voltage India Pale Ale from Mystic Brewery. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, 7% alcohol. So the beer I had earlier was a kind of bright and lemony and had some tropical fruit going on, but it had some bitterness to it. And now we're going to, this beer looks like a glass of orange juice, like a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice. I'm getting some serious citrus off the top of it, oranges and mangoes, in a very cloudy, hazy beer. Let's give this a sip here. So, wow, this is awesome. I mean, if you're into the New England kind of thing, this beer is awesome. It's got the haze and it's got but it's got some grapefruit notes into it, which are definitely done through the hops, whereas the beer I had from the West Coast actually had the fruit in it. And this one is, it's over the top. I mean, I like my New England IPAs. I think in some ways the market's being saturated with lots and lots of them, so not all of them are good. This one is good. They nail it. It's awesome.
So it's Mystic Brewing. Where's it from?
It is from, it's just, the can's kind of wrinkled. It looks like somebody gave it to somebody else, and then somebody gave it to somebody else, and then sent it in the mail.
Well, it's
Chelsea, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. Well, Craig is who sent that, and I'm hoping he'll join us at the end of this episode.
I mean, this beer just screams New England. From the looks of it, the smell of it, that pure orange juice look to it, but certainly not any supreme bitterness to it. with the overall flavor of grapefruit, it was just sort of a really nice sort of differentiation from a lot of other stuff I've had that's been New England. You usually don't get a grapefruit
So it's
flavor.
it's a true New England IPA from New England. So this is where the style originated. I know Treehouse is the big name. And speaking of Treehouse, I think Greg's probably going to have a Treehouse real shortly for us. But yeah, I mean, that's what they do up there. I mean, that's where the style originated. Usually when you get that style of beer from that part of the country, you're going to do all right. But I do agree with you, Doug. Everybody's has jumped on the bandwagon, and there's some really good ones, and there's some not so really good ones, and we've had both. But glad that one is a winner. My only regret is that I'm not there able to share it with you, because it sounds fantastic.
Well, full disclaimer: this can was originally opened at about 6 o'clock tonight. Yeah, my fault for leaving the Beer Nut podcast cans in an accessible location. So, but I did manage to kind of put a rubber band and some film over the top of it and just save at least some of it to the show.
Okay. Well, you had another New England you could have opened. Didn't I give you a milk stout?
Yeah, I just opened that.
All right. Well,
should I review that too right now? Or
yeah,
just
why not?
Give somebody else a chance.
We need to stall.
Give somebody else a chance and go, and then I'll review this one.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I think Greg's up next. So, Greg.
Well, you said Treehouse, John, but I went the other way, and you gave me a Trillium. So I decided one that I've never had before since I had the Treehouse that you gave me. I figure I'd go for something I haven't tried. And so what you did give me was Stilling Street IPA from Trillium Brewing Company, 7.2%. Another 16-ounce silver can here with a white label with their map of Boston, where Stilling Street is. This was canned on 12/12/18, so just a smidge over a month old. That's nothing wrong with that. So, like I said, 7.2%. This is it comes. Let's see. Let's read the description on it here for you. Malt, American two-row barley, white wheat, C15 dextrine and dextrose, and hops are Nelson Sauvin and Columbus. So the looks of it as it poured, I mean, talk about New England IPA. This is haze for days. Can't see anything through it. Really golden, maybe a little bit orange color to it. Had a nice frothy head on it after I poured it. We will take a nice little smell here. I mean, that's Trillium right there. That's gorgeous. That's a lot of, mango and well, you get a little bit of that Nelson Sauvin, which comes off as white grapes. And, you get that grape skin type deal to it, but yeah, a lot of great citrus and white grape, and I mean that's just gorgeous. Well, so let me take a sip out of this thing here. Oh, that's beautiful. That's great mouthfeel. More of that citrus. Maybe a little dryness from the white grape or Nelson Sauvin. I mean, wow, this is really good. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless here. Trillium and Treehouse never disappoint. I mean, they really have nailed down this style. I mean, this
you mean
fantastic.
Trillium?
Well, I mean both. I mean, these are the two big ones that come out of Massachusetts. You said it, but every one that I've had from both have been fantastic, and this is certainly not a disappointment either. So, fantastic brew, and I appreciate you, John, for giving this to me. This is fantastic.
Well, don't thank me. Thank Craig.
Oh, and Craig, right? Sure, absolutely.
He
can't forget him.
Us up. That's why Doug's can might have been a little beat up, but the United States Postal Service delivers in 2 days. Already mail.
Well, and it was full, and it drank great. Huge fan of Nelson hops, man. Those are from
me too.
Yeah,
They're
New
from
Zealand
down
hop.
under New Zealand, and yeah, they really give off some great tropical fruit flavors. And I'm about to brew. I've got a fridge full of those things, man, and I'm going to brew a single hop beer, just Nelson, and maybe a Brute IPA, but it might be something New England too. I'm not sure yet, but. Boy,
And also
love those.
Sorry, I just want to say on the very finish of this thing, I'm getting like a little peppery bite to it as well. I don't know if that's from the Columbus or also from the Nelson, but I mean this is just great. You just can't go wrong with any of their street IPAs or anything that comes out of them. So.
Oh, absolutely. They're like the kings of the East, right?
They're right there. That's for sure.
Another beer here, and we haven't really had any dark beers. So I am going to switch it up here, and I'm going to go with this Bissell Brothers. I have an oatmeal stout called Umbra, UMBRA, from Bissell Brothers out of Maine. I think Dugout was probably either there or had some of their beers. It says brewed and canned by the Bissell Brothers Brewing Company, Portland, Maine. So
yes, I have been there. Great place.
So I know
beer town.
I know they're known for their hops, but I think it's kind of cool that Craig sent me an oatmeal stout, and we haven't really gone to the dark side tonight, so I'm in. So I'm going to put the Julius to the side for now, and let's see what this Bissell Brothers oatmeal stout is all about, Umbra. So I'm pouring it out, and pitch black, as you would expect, with I always say the cola-looking head, but this is really a brown head. It's makes me think there's a lot of roastiness. And as you would expect, that roasted malt, a little bit of chocolate on the nose. So let's taste it. Oh wow, this is really good. Definitely all the flavors that I described. Bittersweet chocolate, roasted malt, really roasty, little bit of like bittersweet chocolate. It's not a sweet chocolate. It's not a milk stout. No lactose in this. Really that nice thick mouthfeel that you get from the oats. Making this a beer, not quite a beer that you can chew, but getting there. Really enjoyable. I used to play a online game called That Brewery Game, and I became one of the top 5 players of all time in the game, and my name on there was Stout Man, and this is why. This is a beer that Stout Man can enjoy. Really, really great. I didn't know what to expect from being from a brewery known for their hops, but Doug, you could probably shine some light since you were there about the quality beers that Bissell Brothers produces.
Well, everything they do is just pretty much bought on site at the brewery that day. They have daily releases of cans and of taps, and it's just kind of it's a different sort of place. I mean, time I was in there was it's in a part of Portland that has a concert venue, an outdoor thing right there. And they're right at the gateway to it. So there was a show going on, and you could go up to the bar and you ordered your beers. You could order them 2 at a time per person, which you did because the line was just really long, but everybody was having a good time. There were plenty of great beers in tap. There were plenty of great beers to buy in cans. You just had to buy what they had. And but like I said, everything was really, really good. They do just some quality stuff. And Portland in general is like that. So many really good breweries in Portland, Maine.
Well, this beer is brewed to style. I mean, I think of stouts that are maybe flawed, and you come up with the word thin or maybe not that flavorful. This is full of flavor. It's anything but thin. It's exactly what an oatmeal stout should be, and really, really a fantastic beer. So a good pick by Craig, who I hope will be chiming in here pretty soon. Otherwise, the show may go on without him.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
Poodle Pamperer, Piano Tuner, or Plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Not applicable to PayPal Here transactions. Other fees may apply. Shop safe with PayPal. Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal. A safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
Poodle Pamperer, Piano Tuner, or Plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Not applicable to PayPal Here transactions. Other fees may apply. Shop safe with PayPal. Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal. A safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
Poodle Pamperer, Piano Tuner, or Plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Not applicable to PayPal Here transactions. Other fees may apply. Shop safe with PayPal.
ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
You know what? Let's go back to Steve,
you know what?
man.
Hold
Yeah, go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
I got one more dark.
Okay. Well, I was.
Unless
we
you want
could
to
go
go
to
back
that.
to Steve. Yep.
Steve, do you have one ready?
I do have one ready. Let me pull it out.
All right. Let's go back to you, and then Doug, you're on deck.
Okay, the next one I got is from Indie Brewing Company. Really small little company that brewers that opened up not too long ago here in LA. And one of the big thing I that's kind of like you'd see a big resurgence of the downtown area, and a lot of it has to do with the food, and another big part of it has to do with a lot of these beer companies. You know, they're taking over all these abandoned warehouses and buildings, and they're moving in, and they're starting their beer, and it's kind of helps revitalize the city. So it's nice to have all this stuff. But the beer from them I'm gonna have, it's called Hop City. It's a double IPA. Indie Brewing, they have a lot of good stuff. They're not afraid to try different things. It's described as a ruby red grapefruit, honeydew melon, and pine resin. So it's going to be your traditional IPA. The color on it, it's deep golden color. Not too dark of an IPA. Smelling it, you really get the pine first of it, and then the grapefruit afterwards. Tasting it, like it says, the grapefruit kind of hits first on it, and not getting too much of the honeydew, but the pine, it's that traditional IPA where you get that little pine taste to it, West Coast IPA. Even though it's a double, it's not that strong. It's a 8.2 ABV, but it's really it's smooth. It's smooth all the way through. It's a good beer. It's really a nice, like I said, nice flavor all the way through.
It sounds delicious.
We like the smaller breweries too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We weren't going to mention this, but I'll spill the beans. We actually did an episode last week that didn't get recorded. All but 6 minutes only made it. So, but we did a drink local, and it sounds like this would have been a perfect one for that. So, we'll invite you to join us when we redo that one.
Well, one thing I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to get the information and forward some of these beers that I'm tasting today, so you guys can have a taste of them.
Well, amen to that. And I'm sure once I get out to Arizona, we'll be visiting the Z-Man in Huntington Beach, and look forward to maybe meeting up with you for a beer or three then as well.
Yeah. And then if you're stay with him, you'll have to come to the downtown, and we'll really go on a nice little walkabout.
Yeah, I will definitely take you up on that. I don't think I've ever been downtown LA, and another one of my bucket list things is to go to every major league stadium, and I have not yet been to Chavez Ravine.
Oh, no.
Kind of ridiculous since I lived in Vegas for 8 years. But I need to get San Diego, Anaheim, and Chavez Ravine. So, and my son likes to go hit all the stadiums with me, so I'm sure that's in the plans too. So,
yeah, one of the nice things is, especially at Dodger Stadium, they have a really great selection of craft beers on there. It's no longer just the Miller Lights and the Budweisers and stuff like that. They really did a good job as far as bringing in some nice beers throughout the stadium.
That's great to know. Hey, speaking of that, is there any good craft beers available at Rams games?
Not really. The last time I went there, I think the best thing I had was a Golden Road, and Golden Road's good, but it's they're mostly into the tall cans, and it's usually the traditional the big wigs.
Yeah, well, we know all about the Evil Empire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the beers that Anheuser-Busch has bought, they still make, a lot of those breweries still make really good beer. And it's kind of a debate that comes up, do you drink the beer just because it's good, or do you boycott it because it's from a brewer that's known to kind of bully the craft beer industry and the independent craft brewers? So that's a debate for another day and another show. But, at the end of the day, at least there's something there that might be palatable instead of the standard, fizzy yellow, boring stuff. Although we don't want to chase away you Coors Light, Miller Lite drinkers, because, we're going to try to bring you bring you into the fold. So, all right, I think Dugout. I just got word from Craig that he is walking to his car from the basketball game he was attending up in New England. So he'll be with us in just about 5 minutes. So that gives us time to review one or two more beers until he makes it on to represent the Patriots. So take it away, Dugout.
Okay. So in case I cut out, my phone is dying. Battery life is dying. So just to make you aware of that. That's why I was trying to get this beer in. So what I have is called, good God, it is the most impossible label to read ever.
It is a treehouse, I believe, though.
Yeah, it's called Moment of Clarity, if you could believe it or not.
Appropriate.
Moment of Clarity.
Appropriate. You can barely read that. It's a milk stout. It's 7.7%. And yeah, it's from Treehouse. And when you pour this thing, it is dark and roasty and just, you cannot see through this. No way, no how. The head on it is just sort of a blackish tan, some sort of creamy foam on it. The nose on this beer is pure roasted malt, coffee, chocolate. Anything you can think of that's kind of roasted and smells awesome, that is the way this beer is coming out. And then the huge shock comes because you smell all this roast and you taste this beer, and it is a milk stout, so it's got the sweetness to it. It's like a milkshake or a malt. It doesn't really come across as this just gigantic stout that you smell. It is phenomenal, incredible, really.
Well,
you get the bitterness from the stout, but really the bitterness is just coming from the roasted malts. No bitterness from the hops at all. But man, this is killer.
Now, it's a milk stout. Is there lactose? Is there a little bit of sweetness in it, or not much lactose?
Well, the sweetness is in the flavor of it. Definitely a sweet stout, and you get the sweet chocolate flavor from it. Which is opposed to the way it smells, which is really dark and bitter. Hard to describe, but that's the way this beer is. And I just think the nose on it is one of the most incredible stouts I've ever smelled in my life.
Well, Treehouse does a lot of magical things, so it sounds like...
They don't mess around, do they?
No, they don't.
Anything.
All right, well... I have the Julius here, which I could dig into. Craig's going to be with us very momentarily. He's on his way to his car. He attended the Boston College Syracuse basketball game. I think he's a Syracuse fan. I'm not 100% sure, but he'll be with us momentarily. So let's Let's cut to the chase. Steve V, prediction for the Sunday's game?
Rams going to win.
Score?
24-17.
All right. Well, I would be shocked if the Patriots are held to 17, only because, as an Eagles fan, it was the shootout of all shootouts last year. But, it's a new year and two different teams. It could happen. So I'm going to make my Super Bowl prediction. I'm going to pick the Rams to win it by a 38-33 score. The Eagles won 41-33. I'm going to think the Rams are going to do 38-33. So kind of just pulled those numbers out of the air, but I think it'll be a higher scoring game than your prediction. But Dugout, your prediction?
Let's see. I think Rams 43-32.
Awesome. Greg?
Well, that's a tough one. Let's see. I still like the Rams. I want to say it's going to be maybe a little bit lower score, like a 24-21 or, 27-21, something like that. So that's kind of where I think it's going to be at. So. All
right. Well, most people in Michigan root for Brady because he's a UM fan, but as we know, Greg is a Spartan. So
that's right. Forget him.
He does not have the Brady infatuation that many Michiganders do. And Michael or David?
I mean, his wife is pretty nice, but
still with us. Huh? Still with us. High Life. Got a prediction for the game?
Yeah, high scoring game too. I'm not going to try to guess a random number, but I think the Patriots are going to lose. I think the Rams are going to take it, and I think we've seen the last of the Patriots dynasty. I think from this point forward, they're just going to continue to diminish, and we're going to see a long time until we see the Patriots actually do anything after this year.
Go back to the Patriots of the 80s when they were like the Lions of the now or anytime.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping the Lions and then
Lions want to trade places with they have Matt Patricia, right?
Not only Patricia, we've taken a couple spots from their top office over to us. So there's at least one or two other people that we've taken from them too. But
John, when you move out to Arizona, are you gonna become a Cardinals fan?
No.
Hell no. No, I'm Philadelphia everything till I die. I mean everything. I mean I'm the easiest I mean I might have a second team here or there, but I'm always, no matter who, if it's a Philly team playing, that's who I'm rooting for. And I told my wife before I got married that I would only get a tattoo if the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I still don't have a tattoo, and I reserve the right. I don't have to get one, but now I have the right if I want. And I'll have the tattoo of the old Eagles logo with the eagle carrying the ball, and all I'm going to do is attach the base of the Lombardi Trophy to the ball if I ever do it. But anyway, no, I'm just Philly for life. It's never going to change. Everybody that knows me knows. Well, I got great news. Craig is ready. I'm going to pipe him into the call, so stand by while I do that. And hang on a sec, folks. Anybody want to talk while I'm doing this? Anybody have any hipster tips or stuff?
KBS. You want to talk about KBS?
Yeah,
they got their ticketed release, or ticketed at least for their tickets. They're going next week, I believe. It was 6th and 7th for their Mug Club members, and then 8th through the 10th of February for everybody else.
Greg, is that you?
Yeah,
it is.
Okay, well, welcome back. Who won the basketball game?
Syracuse pulled it out.
And you're an Orangeman fan, right?
Big win in a nice New England evening.
All right, well, congratulations. And the first thing we want to do is thank you for all these great beers you sent us.
Yes,
we actually went through some LA beers, and we just went through some New England beers, and we kind of stalled waiting for you to join us, and so we've had a couple extra New England beers. So everybody's, as Uncle Pete would say, who's not with us tonight, everybody's feeling a glow at this point. So thanks again for the beers, and just want to, I don't know if you're in a position to drink or review a beer right now. If not, I'm staring at a can of Julius that I have not opened because we opened a lot of the other ones. Maybe you can just use that as a benchmark, but tell us about anything you want to talk about the New England craft beer scene, and then tell us about your Patriots and your prediction for the game.
Sounds good. Well, Julius is the Tom Brady of New England IPAs. It just the older it gets, the better it gets. I mean, people from all over the country want a taste of that thing, and so you got to crack that because we're sitting in negative 30 to 40 degree wind chill, and we may have had one or two Julius's this evening.
Nice. Well, you know what? I guess in honor of that, I will crack it, and we're right there with you with the negatives. Here in Michigan, schools were canceled, no mail delivery. I think we have the same Arctic blast as you. So I'm going to open my Julius right now, just for you, Craig. So here it goes.
Fabulous.
Dugout, who's with us, just had the milk stout from Treehouse. What was it called, Doug? The Clarity, something Clarity? Doug?
Yeah, the Absolute Clarity, I believe it was.
Moment of Clarity?
It was Moment of Clarity. It was really hard to read the can. It still is. That's why I couldn't read it again.
Fair enough.
But what a fantastic beer, man. Oh,
little deliciousness in that one.
Well, all I say is I just took my first sip of Julius, and I have had this before, but it's probably been 2 years since I've had one. And I don't know if I call it the Tom Brady. Sorry, Craig, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm going to call it the Nick Foles of. Just kidding. No, I think that is a good. I think that is a good analogy to Tom Brady because, we had a great run last year with our backup quarterback, but you can't dispute that Tom Brady is one of the all-time greats with all the success he's had. So, full transparency, Craig, we all gave our predictions, and they're all Rams so far. So, what do you have to say about that?
31-24 Pats.
All right. Well,
I think it's a great story what St. Louis has done, and I think the cloud hanging over them of that controversial win.
St. Louis, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Steve V here from LA, right? and he's been with us the whole episode. I don't think he likes your St. Louis reference.
Until they sell out a game, we got to still call them the St. Louis Rams. That's okay. No. LA's had a great season and great young coach. Could be, when all is said and done, better than Belichick. But I think the great Brady has a little bit up his sleeve, and I think giving Belichick 2 weeks to plan for Goff, it's not going to be pretty, and we'll see. I think the inexperience the difference is gonna be the experience versus inexperience.
Well, maybe sometimes it helps to be the underdog. It certainly helped my Eagles last year, and just looking forward to a good game and looking forward to enjoying great beers. It won't be it'll probably be more enjoyable for me to watch the game this year because I was just a mess last year. Looking for my first Super Bowl ring as an Eagles fan, and I just was so drained at the end of the game. I did imbibe a lot of beer though, so that helped. But nothing will be better than my memories of the parade in Philadelphia. Though I flew back for the parade, and I don't know, Craig, you probably don't know. Steve might not know. I'm actually an Eagles season ticket holder living in Detroit, so. I was on the waiting list for 15 years and moved 3 times. And when they called me and said my name came up, I couldn't say no. I still have Eagles season tickets. So, another great thing that came out of that is I got to go over the summer with my whole family and get our picture taken, family picture with the Lombardi Trophy, which you can see on my Facebook page, at least for a couple more days. I'll have to take it down when we're no longer the reigning champs. So, hey, good luck to your Patriots, Craig, and to your Rams, Steve, and thanks for joining us. Craig, you didn't have much airtime. Anything else you want to add? Can you just maybe anything else you want to add about the New England? We've already praised your beers tremendously, and you can't say enough about the great breweries you have in the New England area of the country. So
there's some great all over the place, and that's what's fun about it right now. So yeah, props to Philly, props to LA. There's some great things in both of those cities. Love getting my hands on some of their fine brews. But yeah, I love sharing the New England stuff too because that's what it's about.
Amen. We're really indebted to you for sharing with us, and thanks for that. Good luck at the game. And, I'll be moving to Arizona in a few weeks, so maybe I'll be sending you some Tombstone beers from there pretty soon.
Sounds good. Be safe and have a good night. Glad you enjoyed them. Let us know when you need some more.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Craig. Maybe we'll have you on a future episode.
Sounds
safe travels, and congrats on the Orange victory as I drink my orange can Julius in honor of the Syracuse Orangemen.
Amen. And we can agree that we're going to go to the Hall of Fame ceremony when Donovan McNabb is inducted into Ken.
All right. That was a good one. All right.
Well, thanks, Craig. Take care.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that was great that he was able to join us here at the end. Good that he's optimistic about his team. I mean, he can't dispute the Patriots are a dynasty, but maybe this is the beginning of the end. Maybe not. Let's see. But it should be a great game. Anybody have any final comments? I think everybody has got that glow on, huh? That Super Bowl glow?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, Steve, just really want to thank you, man, for taking the time to be with us all night tonight. I know it's kind of challenging sometimes to get the West Coasters on because it's a little earlier. Soon I'll be one of those guys. So thanks again for joining us, and we would love to invite you back for a future episode. We'll be in touch.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, I was one of the great things, talking about football team and drinking beer. Those are great combinations, and but like I said, it was very nice to sit and talk about some of our local breweries with you guys. So I appreciate that.
Anytime, man. And you know what? You are now officially a beer nut, so you're one of us.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. Well, as we always do, it's been a long evening, so we're going to wrap it up. As we say in Old Mexico City,
A-M. ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber, signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Not applicable to PayPal Here transactions. Other fees may apply. Shop safe with PayPal. Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber, signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Not applicable to PayPal Here transactions. Other fees may apply. Shop safe with PayPal.